edge of the rivers of America. Let me show you what my next door neighbor is. We have the beautiful Mark Twain sitting right next to us. It's been a nice, gray, not too crowded day here at the park. You know that sound, Anna B. What's up, Chris Glass? Good to see you, bud. What's going on, Scott? How you doing? Today's news is going to be a very low-key, laid-back. I'm hanging at the park. I've now been here 5 times. So if anybody has any questions about returning, make sure to let me know, because at this moment, I feel like I've got a good vibe on how the park's going. Here's my question. Will Disneyland ever do a cavalcade just like Disney World during the pandemic? I'm going to say no cavalcades at Disneyland because it's much, much more narrower than Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World has the wider path to do the cavalcades, to let everybody come in and out. I think Disneyland's version of the cavalcades is they are overly using the vehicles over on Main Street. The old school like fire truck, 2 omnibuses going at the same time, the horse-drawn carriage. Like, I kind of feel like that's our version of the cavalcade. So I don't see Disneyland doing what Walt Disney World did. What's up? Any other questions about how Disneyland's coming back together? How's it going, Coco Loco? Good to see you over there, bud. Did a little traveling over the weekend. Feels good to be back home. Dana says, Bricky, what's the parking situation? The parking's bad. The parking's really bad. So this is my advice to anybody about parking. They're opening up the parking lot, last I heard, at like 8:30. At 8:30. And 8:30 is pretty close to 9 o'clock. So if you really, really want to get to the park early, or when you come to the park, you got to think about what is your priority, right? Do you want to be here for the hoopla? Do you want to be here at the very beginning? Do you want to get every hour you have? Because if so, Mickey and Friends is not your friend. I would suggest parking over on the eastern side of the park. The Anaheim Hotel is cheaper, it fills up. But if you really want to get to the park early, either park at a hotel parking lot over on the eastern side, or park somewhere close by and then Uber in and come in on the harbor side. The Mickey and Friends, I showed up here on Thursday with my wife. We got to the park before 10 o'clock. We were going to try to meet Friends at the front gate at 10, and we sat in the parking lot for waiting to go through the turnstiles for a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Vance, thank you for the super chat. Vance says, finally a live stream I can catch. Big fan of you, Vance. Thank you so much. But anyways, we sat there for 25 minutes waiting to get to the parking garage. And one of the things I realized when we got there is everybody has to pay. So there's no more showing your pass and cruising through. So 99% of the people are paying unless they're like 33 members or whatever. And then they had one parking attendant doing 2 lanes. So everybody's paying. Disneyland is really short-staffed right now. So my advice is this: if you want to get here early, come to the eastern side. Park at the Anaheim Hotel. That coupon from Mice Chat, which is $10, which is cheaper than parking anywhere else on premises. It does fill up though. Take an Uber in, get dropped off over in Harbor. That's what I did on opening day, and I was at the front gate at 8:05. I was one of the very first people to come through. Or if you need to bring the car, if Mickey and Friends is your comfort zone, show up after 10 o'clock. I rolled through today at 10:30. There wasn't one car in front of me, went straight to my parking spot, and it was amazing. So you really have to prioritize what it is that you're trying to do. Just saw another super chat there. Still kind of new to the channel. Can you explain 1313 reference? Thanks for the great live streams and videos. Okay, I'll gladly explain that for you. And this is not a promotional plug, but Yoya 13 1313 is the address to Disneyland. When they built the park, Disney or Anaheim let them pick their own address. They picked 1313 Disneyland Way, Disneyland Drive, because 1313 stands for MM. M's the 13th letter in the alphabet, so two M's together, Mickey Mouse. When I started doing my podcast, I put 1313 on the cover of our logo for Disneyland for Designers, and we have now built a community called Club 1313. We'll say it's like the poor man's Club 33, but Club 1313 are people that support my content. It's way, way, way more than a Patreon. We're a community of people that get together once a month, IRL. We do private streams, private Zoom calls. We have a Discord that is the most amazing Disneyland community I think you can be a part of. All beautiful individuals that all love the park from a very intellectual perspective. And yeah, so Club 1313 are my homies. They're the people that make all this content possible. But where the name came from is the address of Disneyland, and where that came from is 1313 stands for MM, Mickey Mouse. So maybe way more of an answer than what you wanted, but that's the deep dive. All right, let me see if there are any other questions here. Question about Knott's Berry Farms, never been. I'm a Disneyland guy, not a theme park guy. Going in May, staying in a hotel within walking distance, choose your adventure California style, that's a genius way to do it. Get a hotel nearby so that you can get in, because the parking structure right now is just a disaster, and it's because they're short-staffed and everybody's paying. Annual pass holders used to just flash that pass and rip through. That's not happening anymore. Yeah, Club 1313 also gets free parking. Let me know how it goes, guys. Katie Baker, bright suns to you. How you doing? Good to see you over there in the chat. All right, any other questions about returning to Disneyland? I thought I saw a big one while I was riffing, scrolling back here. Mark Hall, really enjoying your videos. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate it. Today's going to be a laid-back news day. Let's see here. Where's that big one that I saw, that big question? Are churros and Dole Whip readily available throughout the park, or only in certain places to keep food offerings out? So food is weird right now. It is hard to get food in the park. They want you to do mobile ordering. There are a lot less outdoor vending carts than what there used to be. So food's another one of those things that used to just be a luxury that you just, grabbed at your own leisure. Now food, like parking, takes strategy. If you plan ahead for your lunch, if you plan ahead and get reservations, or if you just plan ahead for your snacks, you're in a good spot. If you're living by the spur of the moment, you're in a bad spot. I didn't plan ahead properly today. I don't have a bottle of water for today's live stream because bottle of water was a 20-minute line and I have to get set up for 20 minutes. So food is another one of those things. They're short-staffed. It's a little bit of a mess. So come with your patience, make a plan, order ahead of time, sort of figure out, does the family want beignets in the afternoon? Does the family want churros in the afternoon? Like, just sort of make a food game plan and it will be so much better for you. Like, the park is rad right now. It just takes a level of strategy, but I think that level of extra effort is juxtaposed with a park with 15,000 guests in it, which is amazing. Blue Bayou, I don't know. I think that's going to probably open like later in the month. They're really, really short staffed. They could use a reservation sit-down restaurant right now, but I think that there's a lot of food and beverage stuff they need to figure out. My favorite thing to eat at Disneyland, non-holiday, I love the beignets. I love the Ronto wrap, but I'm more of a seasonal eater at Disneyland. I love the peppermint beignets in the holiday. I love the peppermint ice cream with the candy cane dipped cone. I love the holiday treats. We do have a Club 13 member here today, other than me. That's awesome. May 27th, Blue Bayou, news out today. Reservations open next week. There you go. Disney Loves will drop the big news while I'm here at the park. So my guess for later on in the month was right. Look at my neighbor. Did I buy a 5-day pass? I bought 3-day passes. A 3-day pass, if planned out accordingly, will give you 3 weeks of coming to the park. Because don't forget, once you scan that first pass, you have 15 days to get it all through. So therefore, be strategic when you buy multi-day tickets. So for me, if I want to come once a week, I bought 3-day passes. Love that. I love how friendly people are on the river. Love it so much.
On behalf of our entire crew, I'd like to thank you for your passage on the mark.
Biggest pain points from the past weekend: food, seating to eat, rides going down. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, Jamie. That does seem to be sort of the place where everybody's struggling. How cool is that? Just cruising right by. I have not really paid attention to the photo pass. I'm a snob when it comes to photos, and I don't think that the photo pass photographers are that good. They insist on using flash during the daytime, so you look kind of blown out, and their cropping skills are, it's like, why do you crop me like this and cut out the pier behind me or the castle behind me? So I'm not a big fan of photo pass. I'm a pretty good photographer. I come with my own camera equipment. But that being said, I know there's a lot of people in front of the castle to get PhotoPass. But now that I think about it, I haven't seen a lot of PhotoPass people all throughout the park. So I'm going to say PhotoPass right now and park hopping are a ripoff. Park hopping, you can't transfer over till 1 o'clock. Park closes at 7. It's an extra $50 on a 10-hour day. I just don't see the value in it. And PhotoPass, I've not seen enough photographers around, nor have I seen the quality of photography to be worthy of paying for it. When it was free as part of my annual pass, I would always use it because why not? But it's one of those things in this new moment that just financially doesn't add up to me. Katie Baker says, I didn't see as many PhotoPass opportunities and long lines for those. Yeah, I mean, Katie brings up an excellent point. There's not a lot of PhotoPass people, so people that have paid money for that are trying to optimize their investment. So then you end up waiting 10, 15 minutes to get mediocre photos in front of the castle. Go watch some of my live streams. I will show you in my live streams where you can stand on the bridge to get a photo of you and your loved ones in front of the castle with no one behind you. It's one of my greatest Disney photography hacks. So I'm not waiting in that line. I'm going on the bridge. I'm getting one of those enclaves. I'm using those flags to block out people. And you can get up there and get an amazing photo taken by yourself, or if you have an Apple Watch, don't forget, just a small, affordable tripod and an Apple Watch. There's so many places to sit your phone that with the timer on here or the timer on your phone, you can take amazing photos on your own. And with portrait mode or with the ultra wide lens, you can do some pretty great stuff with the phone. Aloha. It's very hard to get strangers to take your photos these days. Nobody wants to touch your camera. And when I've been polite, but like, do you guys want me to take a photo? You see mom be like, no, I don't want you touching my camera, weird middle-aged guy at Disneyland by yourself. PhotoPass is great if you just love ride photos. See, that's a genre of Disneyland that I'm not even a part of. So once again, everything's kind of custom fit to your personality. Let's see here. We never used our free PhotoPass during the cast preview. Too long of a lines, and our pics of our son took of us were golden. What's up with Tom Sawyer Island? Well, it's an island right over there that no one can go to right now. Lauren, I believe the train's still closing around 3 o'clock. Tom Sawyer Island, another one of those things. Just they're short-staffed. They don't have a lot of CMs. So to open up the island, to have the boats going back and forth, to have babysitters over there for the guests on the island, it's just one of those use of manpower where the return on investment just isn't worthy right now. But David Gallo, excellent point. There is lots and lots of new dirt over on the rivers of America, that when you get on the Mark Twain, we were promised new leaves, new dirt, new water. the trifecta of magic. If you purchase multiple tickets for others, how can I transfer them to their app from mobile ordering? Okay, so the easiest hack on putting a ticket into your phone that I have found is a screenshot. People are trying to figure out, like, how do I get a ticket to show up into mobile ordering? I just took screenshots of the tickets that I had and just scanned them from my laptop, from my phone. Also too, guys, if you're looking for an easy way to get in the park and your app's going slow, just put a screenshot on your phone of that day's ticket and then keep it right in your photos, because sometimes the Disneyland app, it chokes, or when your phone goes to sleep and you reopen it, it goes back to that loading screen. A lot of times, like when you'll get this screen right here, and then it takes a minute to get into your actual pass, and then you got to figure out which button to hit for your pass. So my hack is just take a screenshot of your ticket, have it on your phone, walk up, boom, and you're in. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Same screenshot tip for the photo pass. Yeah, I mean, cast members aren't looking to see if you're in the app. They're just looking for a barcode. They are overwhelmed. So just literally show up with the barcode. I've never had it not work for me. And what I love is that the photo app is so easy to open. If that's the top photo in your app, it's just right there waiting for you. I've even made it my lock screen when I was nervous before about getting in and it being hectic. And then that saves you from going in the app, having the app reload, having to find the button. And that app is not really easy to get around. So the screenshot is really great. Let's see here. Oh, taking screenshots also works for your AP Legacy discount. See, there you go. They're just looking for barcodes. So, you know, maybe take all of your important Disneyland, you know, codes. Like when we get passes back, you can even put a photo album in your photos that is your Disneyland passes. And so just a quick way to go there, boom, 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 scan it and you're in. By the way, guys, I do have baby phone running today, so if anybody wants to hit me up over in the 1313 Discord, over in the Fast Pass, please feel free to. All right, let me find some more questions here. Do you know the timeline on the new Tiana ride overlay? Okay, so Megan's asking about Splash Mountain. I'm gonna guess this. I don't know this, but I'm gonna guess Splash Mountain typically closes down after the holidays when it's the coldest out here. Splash Mountain is a perennial favorite. People really, really love it. It's running smooth right now. It just got reworked a couple of years ago, so it's in good shape. I'm gonna guess, with the current state of the park, with the current state of their budgeting, that Splash Mountain will roll through the end of the year, and then when it would close for its, you know, annual refurbishment, that will be the moment where it will probably go down for, I'm gonna guess, 18 months. That would be my guess. I don't know that they could do something that intense inside of a year. When they redid Big Thunder Mountain, like completely like took it down, rebuilt it, put in a new track and everything, that was a multi-year expansion or a multi-year construction project. Snow White was pretty long, and you can see where the work went, but it's a much smaller footprint. So I would just wild guess, crystal ball says Splash Mountain splashes till the end of the year. 22, it goes under, and let's look at our timeline. We have 20 was when we got Rise. 21, we get Avengers Campus. 23 will be when we get Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So if they could get that done early 23, 24, that just keep doing those big, you know, those big releases that they love so much. Like right now, the next thing that we're waiting for is the return of Jungle Cruise, which a lot of people have been asking, why is Jungle Cruise closed in California but open during refurbishment in Florida. And the big answer is they're using the Jungle Cruise front facade for the queue for Indiana Jones. So if the Jungle Cruise comes back online during this limited capacity, they're going to have a hard time putting people someplace to ride Indy. So it's just a little bit of functionality because it's just a very, very historic and unique time at the Disneyland Resort. Any news on new annual pass holder? The annual pass rumor, or not rumor, the confirmation is from Ken Potrock is that before the end of the year, there will be a new annual pass program. But I'm going to forewarn you, I don't see the reservation system ever going away. I think park reservations are here to stay. I think there will be a reservation system included with the new annual pass program. And I think that you should be anticipating paying more for less. But do the monkey math. Whatever you spend on tickets the next couple of months, take that math, compare it to whatever the passes are, and try to figure out what are you willing to spend, what can you afford to spend, and what feels right for you. But let's manage our expectations. Maria, I have gone on the Snow White's Enchanted Wish, and I have to say, major, major glow up. And I say glow up for a couple reasons. It's very bright in there. It's very glowy from the gems and all the different flowers. But for the first time ever, Disneyland actually has a truly authentic princess attraction. So if your little ones are going through that princess stage, in the past, all you could do is show them the castle or meet a princess over at the Fantasy Fair. But now with Snow White having a fully materialized storyline, there's a princess ride for young ones to ride on and to get lost in that storyline. So it's a big win. And the best thing I can say is that the line for Snow White has been 2 to 3 times longer than the line for Peter Pan. Snow White definitely got my approval. The last couple of rooms are phenomenal. Keep your eyes on the storybooks. The storybooks are a big sort of sleight of hand of the attraction. And if you're curious to see what it looks like, I did a low light POV on my channel where you can see it. And I think it's a really, really, really impressive upgrade. All right, let's see here. Did the Snow White ride make you emotional? I heard a lot of I cried. So it didn't hit me like that type of emotion, but the final 2 rooms did this to me. Like I had that, like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And I was filming just the attraction. I was just filming the POV of it on my first ride. And I really wish that I'd done the double camera because I could feel my face being like full of excitement. It didn't hit me in the emotional, like the crying vibes, but it hit me in the excitement vibes. All right, let's see what else we got here. Federalist says, from a crowd draw perspective, will Peter Pan eventually take its place back on the top of Fantasyland dark rides, and when? I think Snow White's going to be the king of Fantasyland, or the queen of Fantasyland, probably for like the next 12 months, just because it's very, very impressive. It's a substantial upgrade, and Peter Pan's quick. Peter Pan's dark. And I think Snow White will be the big kid on the block for quite a while. I love Mr. Toads. Like, to me, the story of Mr. Toads is, hey kids, don't drink and drive, you'll go to hell. And I just love how outdated and how abstract it is, how handmade it is. Rob Anderson, what's up, buddy? Everything's been going very well for me. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Circle of trust, brother. Let's see here. Are they refilling popcorn buckets? Elizabeth, I don't know, but I'm gonna guess no. Because when you purchase stuff from outdoor vending, they take every item that you buy and they keep placing it inside of this huge, like massive, ugly store shopping bag. And then they slide that bag over to you. So the cast members never hand you anything. The garbage bag is like the pass away point. And I think that if they're going to be that careful on handing you a pickle that's, wrapped in a plastic bag, I don't see them taking something that your hands have been in, contaminating the popcorn. I don't see that happening. Let me check the fast pass. I didn't see anything over there last time I looked. Now that you've been several times, are you settling in? How has your feeling changed in the last week? More of a normal feel. So, it felt normal on the first day. Here's the thing about being obsessed with Disneyland. Friends, we have this place memorized. And over the last year, we exercised that memory. We know every path, every building, every detail. So when you first come in, there's this part of your brain that's like, oh my God, I'm back. My dream has come true. And it does feel like a dream because it looks like a postcard. Main Street USA with a 15,000 capacity park looks like a postcard. It looks like a daydream. So when you come in, it feels way, way different. But then that dissipates because there's such an insane familiarness to this place. It's been doing the same stuff for 65 years, for many of us, over a decade, and you just fall right into that rhythm. So I'm fortunate enough that today is Pandemic Visit 5, but it just, like that sound in the distance, it just feels like you're hanging out with an old friend, and I'm so happy because it's made my life feel incredibly normal. Hopefully that answered the question. Hi, just going on Sunday, June 6th. What time should I get to the parking structure and how much is it for parking? All right, so it's $25 for parking, and I'm going to ask you to go back to the very beginning of this video because the very first question was all about parking and when you should show up, and I gave a very, very detailed 5-minute answer on parking. But if that's too much work for you, if you need to get here at rope drop, do not go to Mickey and Friends. Get dropped off by Uber on the eastern side or park over at the Anaheim Hotel. If you don't care about getting here on time, show up at 11. That's the abbreviation. Never want to leave a man behind. Jen, in my mind, I'm always at Disneyland. I feel you. We are the same person. Let's see here. What time do people normally start getting in line? I don't know. I've been showing up late. I was here for the cast member preview, and I was one of the very first people to walk in on that Tuesday. I was here for opening day on the 30th, and I got here at 6:45 a.m., but I'm done with that. I've rope dropped. I got to walk down Main Street and see the Bobs waving at me, to see JD waving at me. I now show up in the 10 o'clock hour. Let's see here. Even though the park opens at 9, they let people in earlier. We were at Big Thunder at 8:55. Yeah, Jamie brings up a great point. The days that I've been here and other friends have been here, what they don't want is too many people in one spot. So if the tram path fills up, and if the eastern side of where the buses used to run, if those areas fill up, then they let people in the Esplanade. When that feels a little bit too close, they open up the park sometime after 8 a.m. And they just let you in early, and that's cool. Sometimes though, they don't start running the attractions till 9 a.m. So you can be in that early bit, but not everything's running. It's just different. There's not as There's a lot of stores that are closed. There's a lot of outdoor vending that's not there. There's a lot of things that are missing, but there's so much more that feels 100% familiar. How do you foresee crowd levels changing once out-of-staters are allowed back? Jeremy, I think that Disneyland is going to go low and slow. I think that the customer reaction right now of a small park is phenomenal. I think they're catching wind of that. The tickets did not sell out that quickly for the return of Disneyland. So I feel like they are going to go low and slow. So whenever out-of-staters are allowed back into the park, and I think they're going to take their sweet time with that, I don't think one day it'll be back to like mayhem in here. I think you might see a 5 to 10,000 increase coming up in the next 60 days, 30 days. But I don't think that will break it. It feels really, really good in here, and I just don't think that one day the switch is going to get flipped and then we're back to the old times. I think they're going to go real slow with it. Is there a place that you will post up for ambiance once 9 p.m. closing kicks in? Oh, yeah. I realize I got to come back now to get that 9 p.m. close time. I'll probably do what I always did. Go to the farthest corner of the park at 9 and then just slowly let the security guards wrangle me down to Main Street and probably try to be back in the farthest corner of Batu at 9 a.m. because Galaxy's Edge is a land that just comes to life when the sun goes down. It just transforms almost into another place. Jeremy says, I agree, crowd levels will be raised slowly, hoping out-of-state peeps are back early July with the end of state restrictions. Yeah, I hope that you guys can get back in here soon. I have not yet seen any ID at all. I've not seen them ask for a photo ID at all. I've heard rumors that it's happened. I have not seen it, but I would not risk it. You're close. You're so much closer to your next visit than you are from your last visit. Why risk it? I don't think it's worth it. Risk or reward, I don't see it being worth it. Lauren says, I can't wait for 9 p.m. closing. I'm going on Friday and we have Savi's reservations at 8:50. That's awesome. Stroll through an empty park on the way out. Yeah, it's going to be awesome when it gets to 9, but I have to say, once again, I'm glad I got to see the 7 o'clock close time because there is something special about kind of everybody hanging out on Main Street as the sun's going down, as the lights are starting to come on. Like, you know, I wanted to go back to 12 a.m., but there has been something magical about seeing it at 7. Want to thank the Waffle Accountants. I have a hard time reading when there's no space between the words for the super chat. Please tell me Little Red Wagon is open and serving the happiest corn dogs on earth, one of my main events during a visit. Thank you, maybe December. Well, I have good news for you. The Little Red Wagon has been open and they are serving a lot of those delicious corn dogs. Love that. Let's see here. What else we have? Ryan says, hey, Bricky, do you think that the wait times are still low enough to hit almost all the major attractions in a day? 100%. If you're a ride crusher, 100%. And my bud, who I met during my all-day live stream on opening day, the guy who just, all he does is crush rides, he rode the Incredicoaster 17 times in a row. If you really want to crush rides, get a park hopper, start in Disneyland, do things early in Disneyland, and then go over to DCA. Because from what I hear, DCA in the afternoons, it's all a walk-on. It's all a walk-on. Bricky and the Goose, my co-host, is out there. Got the Mark Twain cruising by us again. See, can I get a backside wave? Can I get backside wave? Nobody. Nobody. Backside wave. Uh-oh, I'm running out of time. Backside wave. Nobody's giving me the backside wave. Nobody. Nobody. A whole boat. Not one citizen of Disneyland on the whole boat. Richard, thank you for the super chat, bud. Thank you for waving at home. Appreciate it. That was the Grand Canyon today. All right, let me hit a couple more of these over in the Fast Pass. Starry Kitten says, with the food situation being so crazy, what do you think would be a better solution? I think that they should. I think that the solution for the food is to have designated mobile pickup areas, but to still also have cash areas. Because cash sometimes goes faster than mobile. You don't always want to plan ahead your snack. So I think that there should be some very prominent signs that just say this is a cash station, this is a mobile order station, because I think the combination of two is what slows it down. Annabee says, I'm going back at the end of the month, but do you think that they will let larger groups in the parks by then? I mean, I think that a larger group could always get into the park. It's just, maybe you don't all go through the gate at the same time. I think you'll be fine. I don't see that being a problem at all. John M says, thoughts on Toad's Magic Dustin in the future? And would that force them to rework the storyline? I think Toad is so weird, right? Because you can see how Peter Pan can get reworked. Or I'm sorry, Peter Pan just recently got reworked. They did Alice already. I think Pinocchio is the most troublesome one. And you can see how they can make Pinocchio more magical and less tragical. But Toad is like an anomaly, right? Like, how do you tell a better Toad story? I don't know. I think Toad's going to be a real problem for them to figure out. Chris says, I've heard on other Disneyland podcasts and YouTube that some are not happy with the food options and availability. Your thoughts? I think food's... My problems with Disneyland right now, number one is parking. Parking's the number one problem. Each booth should have 2 cast members in it. The parking lot should open up much earlier, and they should have a way where you could pre-purchase a voucher for your parking. Because one guy doing 2 transactions is the worst. So parking's problem number 1. But Chris, problem number 2 is definitely food. Food takes a lot of effort, a lot of planning, and it makes the random rip one guy like myself. Like, if I'm filming, I don't want to have to stop a video shoot to go pick up a bottle of water. I want to just be able to rip and grab it when I need it. Now, I know that's a very unique situation, but apply to you. Do you want to be stressed out over on the Haunted Mansion that your churro is going to be ready? I think food's the second biggest problem, but parking is by far the biggest problem. No doubt about it. Parking's a bad problem. Mikey Saint says, what are your tips for optimizing your Disney day? Plan ahead. Make a plan. What's important to you? What are the most important things you want to do, and prioritize those. If you want to make the most of these shortened Disney days, if you want to make the most of the limited park capacity, make a plan, prioritize what you want to do, and don't park hop unless you're a ride smasher. I think park hopping is going to just complicate things. Only park hop if you're somebody that just smashes rides. And Bree says, do you think that they will release out-of-staters sooner? I think the out-of-state thing they're going to take their time with. Do I think they'll be doing Oogie Boogie nights? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think they're going to do private parties this fall. I mean, on one hand, they could easily do it because they're already running at a limited capacity, but I think the amount of cast members it takes to do 2 Disneylands in one day, and I think kind of how they're slowly loading everybody in, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think that there will be parties this fall. I hope there is. I love them, but from a logistics, I could see them not doing it. Because then they got to go back to shutting the park down early. They got to have essentially like a double staff to set all of that up. Like, I'm even going to go out on a limb and say that I think that the holidays might be tapered back just a little bit. It just seems like they're trying to really crawl before they walk and walk before they run. That seems to be the vibe. But, we're already in May, guys. So September is only 3.5 months away. And Oogie starts in September. Halloween starts in September, like right after Labor Day is done. We're into Halloween. That's pretty soon. That is pretty soon. So I'm going to say 22. Festivals start happening in Galaxy's Edge. Christmas gets bigger. Halloween gets bigger. But I think this year it might be modest. If you want to join Club 1313, you can just go to club1313.com. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Do you think it's worth spending the money right now for a limited park? 100%. I think spending money for this experience right now is some of the best Disneyland dollars that you will ever experience. Empty park, shorter wait times, making your life feel like it's back to normal, being able to enjoy things at a pace that you've never been able to do before. I think that right now Disneyland is the best value going. 100%. I don't think the capacity went up. I just think that the shock factor is gone. I mean, they might have been sly and added on an extra 2,000 tickets a day or whatever, but it's still so far away from normal. And I think we're all just getting used to seeing it this way. But man, I've gone back and looked at old footage and it is still pretty jarring how far off we are from peak 2019. Do I know what? Do you know where the Disneyland 150-year-old tree is? Are you talking about the tree the petrified tree? Is that what you're talking about? I typically don't go through Disneyland and cut the trees down and count the rings. Call me crazy. If you're talking about the petrified tree, it's just right yonder, just like right in my sight line. Do I need reservations to any restaurant for Monte Cristo? Yes, you will need reservations. Oh, there's one in Storybook Land? Cool. Joe says, since DCA tickets are not selling as well as Disneyland, do you see them offering a cheaper ticket to DCA soon? No. Well, hold on. Let's think about that. Would they do a cheaper ticket to only Disney's California Adventure? I'm going to say no. Because Adventures Campus opens up June 4th. And that will put a big interest back into DCA. And a lot of people are using an emptier DCA as a way to get into Disneyland by buying a hopper. So even though if you run the math, people that are in Disneyland are probably buying a lot less park hopper tickets. However, people that are in DCA are probably mostly buying park hopper tickets so they can hop at 1 o'clock over to Disneyland. So in essence, by DCA not being as popular as Disneyland, they are probably getting an extraordinary amount of upsells of $50 for the exact same thing. So monkey math is telling me, no, there won't be a DCA discount ticket, especially with the Avengers Campus opening soon. Christina C, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, going on my first ever solo day. I have a park hopper. Any advice or suggestions doing the park alone? Yes, Christina. Yes, I do have advice on doing the park alone. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Walk through the park. If anything catches your attention, go in that direction. Like, just let the park speak to you. Let the magic guide you. When I come by myself, I literally feel like this is how I go through the park. Oh, I hear the bell. I'm going on the Mark Twain. Like, going by yourself is such a unique experience, but it is an amazing one. And, give me my preference. I would rather be here with my friends, with my wife, with family from out of town, but I don't hate a solo rip either. Love it. All right, friends, we got about 15 more minutes left on our weekly update. It was a quiet week of Disneyland news. So I thought, now that I've kind of become a reopening expert, I would answer any of your questions because I've put the miles in here. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let me see here. Walter says, do you think they will keep the mansion backdoor entry, or is it a temporary social distance thing? I think the mansion backdoor entry, where sometimes you get asked to go through the crypt, I think once we're over the pandemic hump, that will be like a folklore thing. So if you're fortunate enough to get that, you are very lucky, because I don't see that stand forever. Liani, what's up? How you doing? Hey, Brecky, wondering your thoughts on Downtown Disney offerings now that the parks are open. Do you still stroll through there on your park days? No, I don't. Because, and I'm missing Downtown Disney, but here's the problem. Mickey and Friends forces you, not a decision you get to make. Mickey and Friends forces you to go down the tram path. So you no longer get the option to go over the bridge, to come in through security by now the Star Wars Trading Post, old ESPN zone. You are forced to go the tram path. So Downtown Disney is actually hard to get to on your entry. On your way out, you have such a long walk back to the parking garage after already walking 8 miles, 9 miles in the park, that it just seems like extra effort. And once you go through Downtown Disney, you'd have to backtrack, go back around. Like, this setup is severely limiting the easiness of making Downtown Disney part of your day. That being said, Downtown Disney has been packed. I did go there at the end of opening day to go have dinner over at the Grand Californian, and it was mobbed. And then I got a message from Beth when I was here for May the 4th. She's like, hey, maybe you could find a little cute Bethy tee for when we go to the park on Thursday. So I went into Downtown Disney trying to find Beth the best t-shirt that I could find her, and it was packed. All right, let me see. Any more here over on YouTube as we get ready to wrap up our weekly live stream every Monday on the 13th hour of the day. Has he said when Matterhorn will reopen? No. Matterhorn, so odd that they're doing like the annual refurbishment now. No word on it. I have seen them over there working. I just don't think that they're in a super big rush. Yeah, Jamie says Downtown Disney was mobbed on Saturday, shoulder to shoulder. But I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of us are used to ripping the park late. And when Disneyland closes at 7, and by the way, you can hang out here till about 8:30 if you're polite. I think people just are hooked on the magic, and eating here so hard that a lot of people are running over there to get food, to do some shopping, because, oh my Lord, the line to get into the Emporium is mayhem at 7 o'clock. So if you want to buy some gifts, do it during the day, because World of Disney gets backed up at 7 o'clock. The Emporium is like, they have a whole big switchback over in front of City Hall and in front of the fire department. So if you really, really need to get some merch, maybe kind of do it around 1 to 4 when the sun's blazing and you're sweating your eyeballs off and all of those park hoppers are coming over, so all the lines get bigger. I would suggest this is a good pro tip for right now. Do your merch shopping around 1 to 2. Around 3:30 or 4, the lines settle back down for the rides. That's when it's the hottest. That's when the stores are going to feel the coolest. Are you seeing an increase in cast members? Really hard to tell, Andre, but it does feel like they're really short-staffed. All right, let me see here. Any other ones in our last 10 minutes together? Any other questions? I want to give a quick shout out to my friends Katie and Spencer over at Best Life and Beyond, because last night when I was flying home, I had really good internet on JetBlue, and they were doing a live stream, and they stayed live forever, and I got to, for once, be in the chat and hanging out and listening to them talk and talking to different people. Like, it made the last hour of a 5.5 hour cross-country flight cruise by. Look at this little surprise visitor. Look at that. Look at that little bit of magic just cruising by. Oh, and by the way, check this out. We are the only ones sitting up here at the edge of Frontierland on the rivers of America. How cool seeing that little raft just cruise by, right? Isn't that great? Andre says, just want to say you are a phenomenal YouTuber and content creator. Thank you so much for all you do, the effort you put into all of it. Oh, thank you so much, bud. So I'll give you guys an update. This week is my anniversary with my wife. We like to escape to Palm Springs every year. We have been together. I should practice this because I need to know this for talking about it this week. Let me do the math. We've been together 18 years, 14 years of marriage this week. So what I'm doing today is I'm going through different lands and I'm doing like a little shot. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll be able to get a video where you and we walk through one of the lands, and I'm just basically going through the park land by land and documenting what these lands look like during this bizarre moment in Disneyland history. I just did Frontierland before we went live. That's how we ended up here today. And I'm gonna go do 3 other lands. So those will be dropping at like 8 a.m. for you. So lots more of park rips coming up this week. Thank you for the happy anniversary. I appreciate that. Best thing you can have in life is a great partner. No doubt about it. I get to do all of this because she believes in me and believes in me doing this. And I was kind of like putting a toe in doing Disney content. I'd do it and I'd stop. I'd do it and stop. And she said, if you're going to do it, just commit to it. Go as hard on this, go as hard on YouTube, go as hard on Disney content as you have all the other things in your life. And if you go that hard, you will be successful. And so with her blessing and encouragement, I became a guy that comes to Disneyland all the time. All right, let's see here. Any other questions? Do you think the tram will come back soon? Oh, God, I wish. The tram can't come back soon enough, but this is what I figured out the tram scam is. This is the tram scam. A tram allows 100 people to bottle up, and then 100 people get on the tram, and then 100 people ride down to the gate, 100 people get off at the same time, and then 100 people rush the gate. It is so fast to get through the front gates of Disneyland today. In fact, there was nobody standing in line in front of me today. I just walked right up, got scanned, and went right in. And you know why? Because now that 100 people is dispersed all down the tram path. So instead of just having large mass groups of people getting dropped off, it's now just a little trickle. And some people have kids with little legs. Some people are in scooters. Some people are in wheelchairs. Some people walk fast. Some people walk really, really fast. And so you just get this nice little trickle down to the gate. So the point is, I think the tram's going to be gone for quite some time. And then another thing is, bringing the tram back means bringing back a whole other set of employees. And I think right now, with the lower capacity, they're just keeping that all low. Mark Twain. You still get a merch discount, Slug, if you have your Legacy Pass in your app or take a screenshot of it like we talked about earlier. You can still get a merch discount if you are a Legacy annual pass holder. I lost my perfect shot when I showed you guys the raft. This little guy's in the way. Look at that. Look at that boat. I love it. All right, one last question. Do I have one last question over here? Do I have one over in the Fast Pass? Look at that beautiful boat. Love it so much. All right, let me see here. Looking for one last good question to end out on here. All right, friends. Coppericky's live and daughter booked for Vax, red letter day. Elna says, what feels most different? Just how empty it is. Here's the best thing about this moment in time. Everybody shows up pretty early now, right? Because back in the day when Disneyland was open from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m., you just had a constant drip of people, just dripping in the park all day. But now, most people show up really, really early. And when they get here, they all go out to the different lands. You know, they want to go rip the Haunted Mansion, they want to go to Galaxy's Edge, they want to go see Snow White. So what that means is that if you go over to Main Street in the middle of the day, it's like a fantasy, because they got all the vehicles ripping up and down Main Street. There's not a lot of people there, and it is just phenomenal going over to Main Street right now, midday. So the thing that is the most special, the most jarring, is how sometimes it just looks like you're living inside of a daydream, which is a great reward, because so many of us, this was the place that kept us wearing these, not seeing our family, not seeing our friends, not celebrating the holidays. Like this, being back in Disneyland was one of the goals that we worked so hard to achieve. And now that we have it and it's more special than ever, feels like an amazing reward. All right, friends, this is where I'm going to end today's live stream. Thank you so much for a very laid back live stream. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions specifically, or some of the things that you were wondering about. This is my 5th visit. I feel very fortunate to have been here 5 times in the first 2 weeks. And I really look forward to when all of you guys can get back here. But if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go film some more land videos that will drop all throughout this week. So every single day this week, Monday through Friday, who's taking you to Disneyland? I am. And then I'll be back here next week to do it all over again. So friends, until the next time I see you, being the only other person in this magical little dock on the edge of the rivers of America, I'll see you back here on the channel with more Disneyland updates. Bye everybody, have fun.